You have to take, pride in your work, no matter what, if it's just something simple. And it's good to be your own worst critic, too.
Good morning. My name is Leon Komm. I'm the owner of Leon Komm & Son Monument Company. But what we're going to do today is step you through the selection and the actual carving process of making a monument for someone's loved one. There's a lot of granite throughout the world, and we're using quite a bit of it and displaying at least one piece of most of the granites used today right here in our display. If part of the design is not in the computer, then we'll do it the old-fashioned way where Gary and Mike will actually draw the design right on the stone itself, and then we ask the family to come back at a later date after that's been done so they can approve the layout, what we call layout approval. If we cut the rubber on the vinyl plotter, then once it's done we tear it off the plotter, take it back to the shop and give it to one of the carvers, Gary or Mike, and they'll continue the process in the workshop. Like I said, Gary will show you how he does all that.
My name is Gary Sheets. I work for Leon Komm Monument Company. My title is Artist and Engraver. I'm going to take you step by step through the process of laying out, sandblasting, and then right to the finishing part of it, right to the engraving. I'm doing a portrait today. I will show you how I do that. We can just start if you want to right now. All right, right now I'm stamping out the letters to put on the stone. This is what we call a stencil press. It applies pressure to each letter. Okay. Now what this does is cuts into the rubber, and on the back of it there's a plastic backing. We have a computer that cuts the lettering in certain types of the lettering styles in the stencil, but every once in a while you need the older style to match something. It's important to not get any air bubbles underneath the stencil, because if you do that, when it comes time when you're blasting, the grain and the dust will get underneath there and it'll blow the stencil right off, and then once you do that, then all you have is the polish. And if the grain hits the polish, there's really no way of, it will actually leave a mark on there. Then you pull your letters out. And if there is any, like air bubbles, you can take your knife and just pop them. The next step is to check your work order, just to make sure. This is what we give the customer, okay? This is usually printed out when they come in. They look at it, they sign it. Then the next step is to put it in the sandblast room. If you don't get any complaints or somebody, don't expect somebody to come running in the door. It just isn't that kind of gratitude you're going to get from the people. You might get a letter, they'll send something, a note, thank you, a nice job. To me, I have to please myself. No, 35 years I've been doing this, but I started digging foundations for my uncle and setting stones and cleaning, like I showed you how you peel the rubber, and that's what I did, and then you gradually, somebody, one of the older men, they would kind of, have a little free time, they would show me how to do it. All right, once the sandblast process is done, then we remove the stencil. Now it's very important to make sure until you get your drawing transferred on that this doesn't move. This has got a diamond tip on it. Carbide won't scratch the granite. a diamond will. Now what I want to do is just get the right setting so I just go through the paper without actually leaving too heavy of a mark. You're drawing in reverse, okay? Instead of drawing the black, you're highlighting. It's like a negative. It takes a while to get used to drawing this way. I'll always start with the eyes, which I think is the most important. And then I usually go to the nose and then the mouth. Especially this business. I mean, this is important to the people. And hopefully it means a lot to them, you know.